Born into the distinguished House of Hesse on November 1st, 1864, Princess Elisabeth Alexandra Louise Alex was destined for a life steeped in history and responsibility. Her birthplace, Darmstadt, was the capital of the Grand Duchy of Hesse, a prominent German state. Her father, Grand Duke Louis IV, and mother, Princess Alice, daughter of Queen Victoria, shaped her upbringing, giving Elizabeth a unique blend of British and German traditions. From an early age, Elizabeth stood out for her gentle demeanour and striking beauty. Her family affectionately nicknamed her Ella, a moniker that captured the warmth of her spirit. Growing up within the new palace, the grandeur of aristocratic life surrounded Elizabeth, yet her parents were determined to keep their children's feet firmly on the ground. Please remember to subscribe to the channel and also give the video a thumbs up. This really helps our channel grow. And finally, don't forget to hit the bell and select all notifications so you never miss one of our videos. And so with that said, let's begin today's story. Princess Alice, a progressive and charitable figure in her own right, ensured that her children were raised with a strong sense of duty and empathy. Her mother's dedication to helping others left an indelible mark on Elizabeth, who grew up observing Princess Alice's tireless work among the sick and poor. Elizabeth and her siblings were taught the importance of humility and service alongside their formal education, which included languages, history, art, and music. While the royal children were undoubtedly privileged, the palace in Darmstadt was a haven of warmth rather than a cold, distant fortress. Elizabeth bonded closely with her siblings, particularly her younger sister, Alex. Elizabeth and her siblings grew up surrounded by an affectionate family and a world teeming with Victorian sensibilities in the opulent halls of the new palace in Darmstadt. Princess Alice, their mother, was deeply influenced by Queen Victoria's approach to motherhood, but she maintained a distinctly German style in raising her children. She ensured that they received rigorous education and learned practical household skills. Elizabeth was a bright and empathetic child. She was mainly known for her infectious smile, which quickly endeared her to everyone around her. She had a special bond with her younger sister, Alex. The two girls would often run through the extensive palace gardens, chasing butterflies and weaving garlands out of flowers. They shared a secret world of stories and dreams, both basking in the security of their family closeness. As they grew older, Alice ensured that Elizabeth and her siblings learned the importance of charity. The palace frequently hosted events for people experiencing poverty and aided those in need. Elizabeth often accompanied her mother on these charitable missions, visiting local hospitals and comforting the sick. She was known to carry baskets of fresh fruit, simple gifts to children recovering from illness, bringing a smile to their faces. These experiences cultivated a nurturing empathy that would guide her throughout her life. Despite the joyful atmosphere of the palace, there were moments of sorrow. The family's life was deeply affected by illness when a typhoid outbreak claimed the life of their youngest brother, Friedrich, in 1873. Tragedy struck again 5 years later, in 1878, when the diphtheria epidemic ravaged the household. Princess Alice herself fell ill and succumbed to the disease, leaving the family without its beloved matriarch. At only 14, Elizabeth had to shoulder responsibilities beyond her years while caring for her surviving siblings. The loss of her mother deeply impacted Elizabeth, but it also reinforced her resolve to carry on Alice's legacy of compassion. She understood the fragility of life and became more determined to live with purpose and integrity. Her royal upbringing shaped her into a young woman with an extraordinary sense of duty, bound by family loyalty, yet driven by a vision for a life of service. With their mixture of privilege, sorrow, and purpose, Elizabeth's royal beginnings laid the foundation for a future that would transcend her noble lineage. As she matured, she carried the spirit of her mother's empathy and strength, a beacon that would guide her through her life's many transformations. These formative experiences left a deep impression on Elizabeth. She matured quickly, stepping into caring for her siblings while maintaining the poise expected of her royal station. Despite her grief, she chose to honour her mother's legacy by embracing the principles of charity, service and selflessness, laying the foundation for the compassionate woman she would become. In 1884, Elisabeth entered a new chapter of her life as she married the Grand Duke Sergei Alexandrovich of Russia. Their union was a result of both familial alliance and genuine affection. Sergei, the son of Tsar Alexander II, met Elisabeth during her travels and was captivated by her poise and beauty. Despite initial hesitation about leaving her family and familiar surroundings, Elisabeth grew to love Sergei and accepted his proposal. Her marriage brought her to Russia, where she became the Grand Duchess Elisabeth Fedorovna, adapting gracefully to a new role. Yet her introduction to the Russian imperial court was challenging. The rigid traditions and political intricacies of the Romanov family were vastly different from the more relaxed atmosphere of her upbringing. She diligently learned the Russian language and immersed herself in the culture, quickly earning the respect of her new family. Her efforts to navigate these differences made her a beloved figure in the Russian court. Elisabeth and Sergei settled into the Grand Nikolaevsky Palace in St. Petersburg, where she began understanding Russian society's complexities. Sergei was a loyal supporter of the autocracy and a member of the influential aristocracy, and his stern views often clashed with the more compassionate ideals held by his wife. However, they maintained mutual respect and supported each other in their roles. Sergei was a powerful man as the Governor-General of Moscow, and Elisabeth took on her public responsibilities with elegance and care. Her reputation for kindness and generosity soon extended beyond the palace walls. She took a particular interest in improving the lives of children and creating initiatives for their education and healthcare. Her warmth and willingness to listen to ordinary people made her a beloved figure among the citizens. Despite the outward harmony, the marriage was strong. Sergei was strict and conservative, often enforcing policies that Elisabeth found harsh. He maintained a distance from court intrigues, preferring isolation, which sometimes left Elisabeth feeling isolated. Nonetheless, she remained devoted to Sergei, providing him with unwavering support even as political tensions brewed. In 1905, tragedy struck. A revolutionary assassinated Sergei with a bomb in Moscow. Elisabeth was devastated by grief, yet she faced the moment with remarkable composure. She publicly forgave Sergei's assassin and even visited him in prison, urging him to repent. Her willingness to show mercy stunned many, but reflected her deep Christian faith.
Why did you kill my husband?
I killed Sergei Alexandrovich because he was a man of tyranny. I took his life for the people.
Do not listen to your pride. Repent, and I will beg the sovereign to give you your life. I will ask him for you. I myself have already forgiven you.
No. I do not repent. I must die and I will. My death will mean more to my cause than Sergei's death.
Widowed and bereft of her official status as a Grand Duchess, Elisabeth underwent a profound transformation. She sold her luxury possessions and founded the Marfo-Marinsky convent in Moscow. There, she dedicated her life to charitable work, providing aid to the poor, sheltering orphans, and tending to the sick. Elisabeth's decision to become a nun was met with surprise by the Russian aristocracy, but her unwavering commitment won their respect. Her compassion resonated with ordinary Russians. She became a symbol of hope amid the growing social unrest in the country. In the convent, she found solace in daily prayers and the quiet discipline of monastic life. Despite the trials she faced in her marriage, her devotion to Sergei's memory remained strong, and she continued her charitable mission in his honor. Her years in Russia were a testament to the strength of her spirit, showing how one could endure loss and yet still find purpose in selfless service. convent was founded on the principles of active compassion, combining prayer with concrete actions that would help alleviate the suffering of Moscow's destitute. Elisabeth took vows as a nun and encouraged other women to join her in the mission of service. She did not retreat from the challenges of running a sizable charitable institution, but embraced them enthusiastically. The convent housed a hospital, an orphanage, a pharmacy, and a chapel, and it quickly became a beacon of hope for the city's poor. Elisabeth ventured fearlessly into the slums, personally administrating aid and tending to the marginalized and forgotten. Her courage and unwavering dedication drew admiration from all corners of society. She exemplified her mother's legacy of charity, and her work garnered the respect of many, even amid growing political tensions. However, these tensions would soon bring further trials. With the growing unrest of the Russian Revolution looming, Elisabeth's position became increasingly precarious. The Bolsheviks saw her as a member of the aristocracy, someone to be eliminated to break the old regime. Despite the danger, Elisabeth chose to remain in Russia with her convent, believing that her faith and mission called for her to endure these turbulent times. During this period, she advocated for peace and forgiveness. She reached out to her sister Alex, the Empress of Russia, offering support and counsel as the Romanov family's grip on power had weakened. Elisabeth remained firm in her conviction to serve despite mounting threats and continued to open the convent doors to those in need. In 1918, the Bolsheviks finally moved against her. She was arrested along with other members of the Romanov family and taken to the town of Alapayevsk. Elisabeth and her companions were subjected to harsh conditions there, but she upheld her spirit, encouraging those around her with prayers and hymns. One fateful night, the group was driven to an abandoned mineshaft on the outskirts of the town. There, Elisabeth was beaten before being thrown down the shaft with the others. Vasily Ryabov, one of the executioners, recounted that Elisabeth and her companions survived their initial descent into the mineshaft. Disturbed by their survival, Ryabov threw a grenade down to them. After the blast, he heard them singing an Orthodox hymn from the depths. Unsettled by the continued singing, Ryabov hurled a second grenade, yet the hymn persisted. Ultimately, a large amount of brushwood was stuffed into the shaft and ignited. Ryabov then stationed a guard at the site before leaving. When the mine was later exhumed, a small cross she had made was found next to her body. Elisabeth's death was a tragedy, yet her legacy of compassion and forgiveness lived on. Her life reflected an unwavering dedication to her principles, showing that even in the face of suffering, one can remain steadfast in their devotion to higher ideals. Her transformation from a royal figure into a servant of humanity revealed the depth of her spirit and the enduring power of selfless love. The revolution that raged across Russia was relentless. Elisabeth's death shocked those who knew her, but her legacy became stronger. Her unwavering commitment to compassion and forgiveness shone through in her final moments, revealing a heart that refused to be hardened by hatred. She was canonized as a martyr by the Russian Orthodox Church abroad and later by the Moscow Patriarchy, where she is revered as Saint Elisabeth, the New Martyr. Her story of sacrifice and martyrdom transcended political borders, inspiring many with her message of love, forgiveness, and service. Even in the face of death, Elisabeth remained resolute, her life a reminder of the power of selfless compassion in a world often torn apart by division and violence. Her final acts of sacrifice cemented her legacy, transforming her into a symbol of the enduring strength of faith. Elisabeth of Hesse by Rhine's life is a poignant tale of compassion, grit, and unwavering dedication to her principles. Her transformation from a privileged princess to a revered nun, and ultimately a martyr, is a testament to the indomitable strength of the human spirit and the depth of empathy she possessed. Her legacy began to take shape in the immediate aftermath of her death. the Bolsheviks, intent on erasing any remnants of the old aristocratic order, couldn't extinguish the memory of her kindness. Though closed by the authorities, her convent remained a symbol of the charitable spirit that she had instilled in her nuns. The orphans and the sick she had comforted became living testaments to her impact. After the fall of the Soviet Union, her legacy experienced a resurgence. She was canonized as a saint by the Russian Orthodox Church abroad in 1981 and the Moscow Patriarchy in 1992. Her relics were moved to the Church of Mary Magdalene on the Mount of Olives in Jerusalem, where she rests beside her loyal companion, Sister Barbara. Pilgrims visit her shrine to this day, drawn by the story of her unwavering faith and devotion to charity. Elisabeth's legacy is woven into many charitable and religious organisations that bear her name. Hospitals, orphanages and foundations continue her work in both Russia and Europe, inspired by her example of humble service. Her life has been recounted in books, documentaries and liturgical writings, spreading her message of love and forgiveness across the globe. Her legacy also prompts us to reflect on our capacity for compassion and our ability to rise above adversity. Elisabeth's life also offers an alternative vision, rooted in empathy, generosity, and a desire for peace in a world often driven by self-interest and discord. Her choice to stay in Russia despite the apparent dangers, her dedication to her mission even when facing arrest, and her final acts of mercy are remarkable reminders of what a single life, driven by unwavering principles, can achieve. As we contemplate Elisabeth's story, we are left with a question. In a time of division and growing need, how can we embrace her spirit of service and help build bridges that unite rather than walls that divide? Her legacy compels us to examine our values, urging us to transform challenges into opportunities to uplift others. May the compassionate journey of Elisabeth of Hesse continue to inspire those who seek to make a difference, guiding them toward a brighter, kinder future.